Hey, Coach, welcome to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe down below and click up above. That way you'll be notified of everything that kind of comes through. If you're looking to win championships, if you're looking to have a messy basement like this, but a basement like this, go down over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. It's the resources, it's mentoring, it's the one-stop shop for basketball coaches. Go over and check it out. Have a great day.
All right, welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops. Sorry, Coach, I threw him on the podcast as he was doing something else. So you
I
pivoted
was
very
just
quick.
I was looking at my notes, what we're going to talk about today.
I know it's pretty
Well,
funny. So anyway, I just throw him into the wolves. Go throw him into the deep end.
yeah, I can't think too much, right? I just got to react to
Let's go.
whatever.
Let's go.
I still
Yep.
have to bring it up though, so I got to
I
now
know.
look.
I know.
That's
You
okay.
do. All right. So before we get started, let's give a big shout out to our new podcast.
So we're taking a deep dive into the business of youth sports, behind the scenes look at the innovators who are making a difference. Go check it out at youthsportsinsider.com.
It
Uh,
better be up
y-
by this time. If it's not, you'll be on a waiting
oh,
page.
it's up. It's up already.
It's got to be. Okay.
Yeah. The YouTube version is up.
Yeah.
We'll get the actual podcast, but you go sign up at youthsportsinsider.com. We'll send you the latest and greatest podcasts and interviews as they come out. What you'll find there, though, just keep in mind, is you can listen to the full episode on YouTube. I send out a weekly, basically cliff notes of every interview with some of my feedback and action steps. So just by listening to the podcast, you're not going to get the full effect if you don't sign up for the newsletter as well. I break it down. Go to usesportsinsider.com and go check it out.
All right.
Got some amazing
Today's
interviews coming up.
the coach is a little nervous on a couple of them. That's good. We like
That's good.
nerves. I know.
Pushing my comfort zone. Just
Yes.
like I always tell my kids, right? And my
It's the only way.
athletes.
You got to fail to get better. You
Gotta
gotta,
fail to get better.
you gotta. All right. So what's
I should
today's
be a
topic?
freaking expert then.
That's funny.
Today's topic, this came from I love this. It came from our Facebook group.
Okay.
And there was a poll on our Facebook group, Coach, and I want you to guess what you think the number one response was. I'm going to
Okay.
read the question.
All
I'm
right.
going to read the answers. You tell me, as of right now, what the number one answer
Okay.
coaches put
Hold on.
down.
I'm gonna get
Okay.
a piece of paper out. So
All
you're
right,
gonna
here we
read
go.
the question and you're
I'm
gonna
in the
read
question.
the possible responses. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Uh, uh, and it's almost, well, it's 600 post reaches. So this is
Okay.
actually, it's got a good sample size if you're a stats teacher.
Okay. I am.
Okay, what would you say is the biggest limiting factor for players grades third through six?
Okay.
Okay, number one, skill, not in any particular order.
Yes.
Skill acquisition,
Okay.
fear of
Yep.
failure,
Okay.
physical ability, attention span.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
the biggest limiting factor.
Okay. I'm gonna
And then
put
we're
these
gonna
in
talk about
order.
it.
I will put these in order. I
Okay.
think, ooh,
There's a tie though on one of them. So
yeah, I would say
number
the
one
la-
answer is
the number one answer is attention span.
okay. What's your
And
number
then I would
two?
say number two is physical ability, I think is what you said. And
Yeah,
then I would
physical
think
ability.
three is skill acquisition, and then the last one would be fear of failure.
You have failed the quiz.
Oh no. Did I
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Because I'll tell you why. Here's why I voted the way I would.
Okay, so
I
hold
was
on one
assuming
second. Let's go through. Hold on. You say it again. You said number
attention
one
span
was
I thought
attention
was, and
span.
I thought attention span was one because we have a lot of parents and non-teachers
Hmm.
that deal with third to fifth graders and probably think their attention span should be longer than it is. So
Okay.
that's
Number
why I put
two
that way.
was what?
Physical ability, like be able to shoot a
Physical.
three and
Yep.
that kind of stuff. And then
And number three,
I put skill
skill
acquisition or be able to
acquisition.
do. Yep. And then number four was fear of failure.
Okay.
Was I
So
close? Did I
you're
get
gonna
any of them right?
justify your you got one right.
25%,
You got
baby.
25.
Maybe passing
Is that
nowadays.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you
Yeah.
lost the
One,
bracket.
one out of four is 25%. I got the percent right. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you got the percent right. That you
Okay.
did get right. So,
Okay.
so
So
why
what
did
would
you, so fear, so attention span, you picked attention span
I
as
picked
your
it
number one answer.
because I figured it was a parenting thing. I wouldn't pick that. I was trying to think what the people that are filling the polls out would think.
Okay.
And
Oh, now you're going back on your, now,
no, I
okay.
wouldn't have picked
No,
that. I would have
after I
picked
took,
physical ability first. I
oh,
personally would have
okay.
picked physical
You're
ability.
still, you're still wrong. But
Because well, I don't think I'm wrong. I just think the people filled the poll out wrong. Because I just don't think they're physically strong enough to do things that we expect them to do. Like a
I
fourth
think,
grader is not physically strong enough to shoot a long shot. I don't care
mhm.
what you say. So that would be number one for me. I think they can learn to dribble. I think we can deal with fear of failure. I think we can deal with attention span. You can't make a third grader stronger and necessarily faster and be able to do things. So that would be number one. I would argue with anybody any day about that. Anyway, okay, what did the poll
So
say?
the poll said number one answer is by 43% of the people who filled out this poll believe this is the number one, which I absolutely agree with.
Okay.
Fear of failure, number one. And I'll tell you why
Really?
in a second. Yeah.
Okay.
Number two was physical ability,
Okay.
27%.
So
And
that was
tied for third was skill acquisition and attention span at 15%.
okay.
Okay. So fear of failure. I think it's one of
But
those things.
100% agree with that because I haven't coached a third to sixth grader in a long time. I personally haven't. I've
Yeah.
done camps and I've done that, but I haven't like had a team. So yeah,
Mhm.
I can believe that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just think that, I mean, I see it. I coach, third through high school. So I see that at every level. Um, a lot of the times, we talk about ad nauseum on this podcast. We talk about red dot, right? The game in your head and the game on the court. And I always say the biggest opponent is the game in your head, which again goes back to the confidence, fear, failure, right? I don't want to make a mistake in front of my peers, my parents. I'm in a fishbowl, everybody's staring at me, right? Coach might, depends on the type of coach you have, might be yelling at you. You just don't want to make those mistakes, and it hurts your confidence, so you hold back a bit. And I think if kids just let go, and I have some players on my team that I have to be really careful with. They don't, they're the opposite. They don't have a fear of failure, but they also are just like crazy. And when I say crazy, they're kind of out of control a little
Oh,
bit. But I don't I got to put some corners on that to harness it and use their superpower to their ability
right,
versus telling them not to be aggressive or not to do X, right? Because I don't want them to get like a coach is just going to yell at me, or right, I
right,
don't want to make a mistake now, right?
right.
And I tell everybody this, new parents who come to my program, I don't coach basketball, I coach confidence. On my number one thing is I coach confidence. And when I did that and changed the way I used that as my lens, I felt like I became a better coach. I felt like my players became better people and players. And I felt that they excelled in the skills that we were teaching because, you know,
I like that.
we encourage mistakes.
I like that. Before we go any farther, Coach, give a big shout out to how people
Yeah,
can
coaches, go
find.
check out coachingyouthhoops.com. It is your number one resource if you are a grade school coach for practice plans, drills, offense, defense. We laid it all out for you so you don't have to do the homework. Print and go, show up to practice with a fully loaded practice plan for an entire season. Check it out, coachingyouthhoops.com.
Awesome. All right. So I agree. I mean, yes, so I can see that. I can and two was physical ability,
Yeah,
the strength. So coaches are
yeah,
seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah, that's why I thought that
yeah.
was one. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well,
Your thought.
yeah, I mean, it was, but fear of failure was 43%, physical ability was at 27%, right? So it's, you know,
So they're seeing it. They're seeing it as coaches or parents, maybe even more, filling that form out.
yeah, and I think that the other thing that could contribute to that is, we can look at societal things as well, social media and seeing the highlight reels that we talked about in the podcast prior, even coming out of COVID, right? That really stunted confidence and growth because why? We were isolated and we didn't fail, right? And we didn't grow and learn, and our brain didn't develop like those kids who had failed before. Now we have a fear of failure
Right.
because we were in a
No,
comfort zone for a long
hey,
time.
it's so my defense on this is maybe this is a COVID, maybe this is a post-COVID thing. Maybe this
Could
poll,
be. Yeah.
maybe. I mean, I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
status.
No, I totally agree. Yeah.
That's a variable thing. Maybe that wasn't
Hmm.
the issue when our kids were coming through as much. I didn't see that quite as much. Um, some of the stuff that you're describing, but
Yeah.
and you're right, they didn't. They were in kindergarten, they were in
Yeah.
pre-K, maybe they didn't have it, or maybe they're in first grade, they didn't have a chance to fail.
Yeah.
Um,
I had
and
a player tell me that after COVID, she noticed a big change in her level of happiness,
yeah,
So pre-COVID versus
I mean, as
post-COVID,
an
which,
old adult,
you know,
I noticed the difference in myself, even like, I mean, just things that used to bother me don't bother me anymore. Life is short,
yeah,
time is
that's because of your
valuable.
age, though, Coach.
That's probably because of my age. I'm the
You'd
old
have
guy.
those, you-
I'd
you'd have
probably
those
have that
feelings
anyway.
that exactly. Yeah.
Sitting in a rocker on the front stoop. All right. Anything else, Coach, with this?
No, it's just, again, think about how you're coaching. If that's the number one answer that coaches are responding, how are you dealing with it? Think of the tools that you need to boost their confidence, and get them over that fear of failing, and encourage mistakes in practice. Make sure you're not yelling at them. Make sure that you have the crowd in control at the games. You're the quarterback on the court, right? And that means, yes, you can control the crowds. um, and talk to parents about what kids are feeling and the steps you're making to help them. So don't just go in and think you're going to coach the X's and O's. You're raising human beings, right?
Right.
And sports is a vehicle to
To
show
do that.
examples of that.
To do
So,
that. I
all
love
right.
that.
And
All
go
right.
check out coachingyouthhoops.com for all your coaching needs.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes.
All right.
Coach and I both have kids in college.
Yeah, we do.
If you'd like us to be able to buy them a muffin on a Tuesday, go over and help us
Or
out.
just even some ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles or a
Something.
couple extra mechanical pencils. Help us out. Over and check out.
Coachingyouthhoops.com. Go check it out.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Coach, so glad you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed it a lot. Actually, if you did, subscribe and like, and then go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better.